name's Tara and I'm with Springs Creative. I'm going to go over some tools that are helpful when you're sewing. These tools are great for beginners and advanced sewers. A sewing box keeps everything in your sewing kit neat and organized. You can store pins, buttons, chalk, measuring tapes, and more. Keep a cheap pair of scissors on hand for cutting paper, patterns, and craft projects. Always have a nice pair of scissors that you use only for cutting fabric. This will keep your scissors sharp and make sure that they last for a long time. Tie a little piece of ribbon or fabric around the handle to indicate that these are used only for cutting fabric. Peaking shears will give you that zigzag edge that prevents the fabric from fraying. Straight pins hold the fabric together to make sewing easier. There are all types of straight pins, but using dressmaker pins with the colored heads will be easier to see. Your pin cushion can sit right next to your machine or project, and it will hold all the pins and needles while you work. You want to have extra sewing machine needles to make sure you're always using a sharp needle. Read the needle packages to be sure you're using the correct needle for the fabric you are working with. The hand sewing needles are used for hems, buttons, yo-yos, and more. The most commonly used needles are called sharps. You can use a measuring tape for body measurements to measure the lengths and widths of the fabric that you need to use. Use a tracing wheel to roll along the fabric to transfer chalk from the trace paper onto the fabric for marking. Use dressmaker's chalk, water-soluble pens, or tracing paper for marking on fabric, for example when you're making darts. A seam ripper is used to remove unwanted stitches. A hem gauge is great for marking hems and checking the seam allowance widths. Typically, the basic colors of thread found in sewing kits are black, white, navy, red, beige, and gray. You'll want to match your fabric to the specific color threads, so it's helpful to take your project into the store to get a closer match. Bobbins are inserted in the lower part of the sewing machine and are filled on the bobbin winder on the sewing machine. Thimbles are used when hand sewing to push the needle through the fabric, so you can protect your finger. You can use a rotary cutter to cut accurate straight lines through multiple layers of fabric. This is especially helpful when you're working on a quilting project and have many pieces of fabric to cut out. The mat board is used as a flat surface to cut fabric with rotary tools. Always store the mat flat so it does not curl. Acrylic rulers are clear rulers that come in various sizes, but the most common is 6 inches wide by 24 inches long. Your acrylic ruler is used as a guide to cut straight lines with the rotary cutter. You also need to keep an iron and ironing board handy to press your fabric, seams, and darts as you work on your project. These tools are great to get your sewing room set up. Happy sewing!